Hey, how's it going everyone? Here with the Yuzuriha release from Jigokuraku, or Hell's Paradise. So if you saw my early review or box opening of this at Tamashii Nations 2023, thank you so much for joining in that time or watching after, and thanks for coming back to check out the in-depth review for her. One thing I just want to say, I love the look of these boxes. We have Sagiri from the previous release, and then Gabi Maru. So these are the three figures from the line so far, and I love the box art. It definitely matches in with the show's aesthetic, with very nice scattering of different colours, you know, to kind of represent those flowers. So I'm loving the overall theme. I hope we get more releases from the series, just because I think the boxes all look great. Plus the figures have been fantastic so far. So yeah, switching over to the back, we do have a nice selection of photos showcasing some of her poses and the awesome expressions that she does come with. Now, if you didn't actually see the live stream, I highly recommend watching it after this, as I did have a few questions with Tamashii Nation at the start regarding the design process for this figure. So if you're into this line or just Figuarts in general, at least watching that part is definitely very interesting. And there's a couple of points I'll highlight when we look at the figure as well that did come up in that. So yeah, let's pop it out of the packaging and we can check out what she does actually come with. So we have Yuzuriha in the centre with a kind of base neutral look, 4 additional faceplates with the open mouth happy, the eyes closed kind of laughing face, the kind of cheeky smile and the tongue poking out one as well. So a great range of expressions for this character. If you've seen the show or read the manga, you know she's a bit of a cheeky one. So all these faceplates align well with this character. She also comes with 2 kunai. I mean, she's a kunaishi. She needs her kunai for attacking. She comes with her sheathed katana, which does attach to the back of her. And then she also has 3 pairs of hands. The top one is designed for holding onto the kunai, and then kind of a loose finger spread, and a kind of waving full finger spread hand as well. So definitely a nice little selection there. And what we can do, we can pop it out of the packaging to take a look at the actual finish. Okay, so we've got it spinning on the turntable now, and I think straight away you'll be able to see the nice purple colouring, the white, the band around her waist, and then the straps on the back, which does have that nice rope texture. Nice grey colour for her boots and the lower shin area, and then she also has the silver part for her guard on her arm as well. The strap colour definition or separation with the skin tone and the black is really nice, and then the purple for her hair is coming through lovely as well. It's definitely very vibrant, and we'll probably get a little bit of a closer look at it soon when we check out the faces. But she also has her hair tie, which has some lovely colouring and detailing as well. So there's a lot of fine points of detail on this figure which come through nice, especially like her her ninja containers as well. The white that's strapping on are really good. One thing you'll notice coming around, there's no seams in her thigh and on the underside as well. Now in the Q&A I did, when speaking with the people for this figure, one thing they really aimed to do and they're proud of was having no seams there while maintaining the articulation. And we can kind of see that in a moment, but you'll probably notice here that the seam for the leg, which you can normally swivel, is a lot lower compared to other figures, and that is due to a nice curvature, so they allow that seamless look for the skin underneath. This character's design, or her special attacks, kind of utilizes her bare skin, so that is why it is a lot more exposed. So I think there was probably a more difficult point for them to design, and I think they've nailed it really well. So definitely drop a comment below what you think about her overall character design towards a figure version and what you think. But yeah, for now, let's pop her off and we can check out the articulation. So starting with the head, we have a lovely swivel left and right without any hindrance from her character design. Going forward is extremely well, and then going back we have a nice range of articulation as well. Now the joint itself feels nice and fluid, and has a nice resistance to it when you move as well. So it will move on the actual head as well as the neck as well. So just do keep that in mind when you are trying to get her into the right pose. Now coming to the shoulder, we have a split design, so she can lift her arm up really well, which is nice, and it blends in well with her tones matching. We have a swivel that will come up and around, so all the motion in her arm is nice. And then we also have the bicep swivel at the band location. The elbow articulation is also nice with the double joint. The wrist peg feels really nice and fluid, and everything does move around really well. So overall, it is a lovely figure to move and articulate. The strap here is a nice loose soft rubber, so it doesn't get in the way at all. And then even her top here, it is a soft rubber which will slightly move, though it is stuck on around her bust area. But on the top it is a little bit softer, and underneath. So when you move her forward, it will kind of squish a little bit, kind of reminiscent of Beast Gohan if you have that figure. Going back, it is really nice. And then same for going forward, a little bit more limited, but it's not too bad. Left and right swivel is really nice. And then on the back we do have a peg socket here for the katana. I did, to correct myself, I did mistakenly mention it was for a tamashii stand during the live stream. And yeah, unfortunately the stand won't fit in there. So I do apologise for getting it wrong during the live stream. But coming down to the hip area, really good range of motion there. We get the full-on splits. Going forward, again, it's really nice. Going back, a little more limited due to the butt flap. It would be nice if we had that as a soft rubber like the recent Goku release. But coming down to one part that the designer was very proud of that we mentioned in the live stream, her fire there's no seam. Normally you'd have a joint at the top where you get the swivel, but for this one it is down lower, and it was achieved by having a nice big curve, so we can maintain that extra point of articulation without kind of covering up the skin or breaking the aesthetic look. So definitely a really good job there. Now the knee itself has a nice range of motion. It can go all the way up and around. And then coming down to the ankle, again we have a nice range of motion. Not quite as good as the Naruto figures, but definitely good. And one thing you might be able to see easily now is that we do have toe and real nice feet sculpting as well. So it definitely looks really nice with the extra curvature there. Moving over to the face plates, so the base one we have here is a bit more of a neutral smile, and again it's really nice, the extra colouring and details on the eyes with the eyelashes above looking really nice, and I think the printing on these are really good. You can kind of see the detail in her hair as well, with her hair clip with the gold and orange ball, again looking really crisp and clean, and you know the sculpting in the hair is really nice as well. Now to change the face plates, just like most figures, we just pop off the front bangs, and then that will give us access to a faceplate which we can then just slot off. So the second faceplate is on now, and this is the mouth open smile, really nice with the colouring with the teeth and tongue are looking really good. The third faceplate may be one of my favourites, but it's the eyes closed, you know, mouth open, smiling, laughing. You can just imagine her chewing on Gabimaru as he takes out the monsters while she's relaxing in a tree. So the fourth faceplate is very similar to the second one. It is the mouth open, kind of smiling one, but this is a little bit more of a serious expression compared to the other one, which is a little bit more of a sweet, bit more of a mellow face, which I think would have paired nice with Center. But this one here is definitely a little bit more of a cheeky smile, which is looking really nice. And then finally we have the kind of a goofy or cheeky face for this release, and that is the little wee tongue poking out one, which is really good. Definitely a perfect face for teasing Gabimaru. Yeah, but we have a decent range of expressions for this figure, so definitely let me know below which one is your favourite. Okay, so I've attached the katana to her back with that cheeky grin. I think, you know, this looks so cool. You know, definitely has a nice range of motion. She can definitely bend forward, and you know, aesthetically speaking, all the design is looking really nice on this figure, and the way that the leg hair can curve around definitely works really well. Switched up the hands to the spread ones with that cheeky smile. Again, everything just looks really cool. yeah, I'm really torn about what type of pose I want to go with in the long term for this figure, but definitely very fun so far. Might try a more action-packed, articulated pose for the next one. Now, due to her articulation, she can definitely strike those high kick poses really well, though due to the wildly defined sculpting, I would say, in her feet, it's really curved. It's definitely quite hard to balance on one foot compared to flat-footed characters. I did have her balancing a few times, but it's definitely easier if you get something on her foot to kind of stick it down, or maybe a stand if you want to go with a pose like this. But overall, looking really good. So after having a little bit play around, I'm definitely finding that she is a lot of fun to pose. All her joints feel super fluid, and the range of articulation definitely makes it a lot easier to get her into some really cool poses, which makes her such a fun figure to play with. Really does remind me of like the Naruto line. Now, for those that were wondering, since you're a bit disappointed that her katana is permanently attached to her sheath, she can easily hold the katana from Gabimaru or any other, I guess, 1/12 scale katana. So that's no real issue, at least for me, but I'll cover that bit in the pros and cons. And here we have Sagiri just in that base pose from her box, which I thought looked really badass, where she's about to draw her sword. But yeah, let's grab our Sagiri and Gabimaru for a bit of a size comparison, and then we'll jump into the pros and cons. Okay, so we've got the three Jigokuraku figures here now. Obviously, Yuzuriha, a recent release, Gabimaru first, and then we had Sagiri last month. So yeah, overall I feel like these three characters together are looking really good, and definitely makes me want more. I mean, the first season's finished, the second half of the series should be coming hopefully sometime soon, but the way things been going with Muppet and Jujutsu Kaisen, maybe it'll be delayed a while. But anyway, so maybe when the second season comes back we'll get a few more characters, or maybe this is all we are getting, and if by that chance this is all we're getting, I'm pretty satisfied with these three releases. Now, all three releases, awesome expressions, decent section of hands, and some basic accessories. Gabimaru had his katana, Sagiri hers, and then Yuzuriha had her kunai. Now I know some people are a bit disappointed she doesn't have a katana, but you can take one of these two if you want. So I guess we can just jump straight into the pros and cons for Yuzuriha. Pros, the aesthetic, the design, definitely a beautiful looking figure, where aesthetic and articulation have both come together for a great release, where it doesn't really seem like one or the other has taken a backseat to the other, and the designer's done a fantastic job of achieving the articulation while maintaining that definite and distinct style that she has. And the soft rubber parts on it work really good for both the top and the belt. The color separation of the design, I think, is looking really nice. The one con for coloring is her upper hip area is painted on that plastic, and due to that the skin tones are not a perfect match, but that is quite common where you have painted skin parts compared to the base plastic, partly due to the way light reflects off it, and I assume getting the colours for those parts is quite difficult. Since it is underneath the belt, a lot more shadow falls on it. Haven't really noticed it too much, but there's something to keep in mind. A little bit of a little bit more of a closer match would have been appreciated. Now, the accessories, faceplates, all pros for this figure. I mean, the con, she doesn't come with a katana, but at least personally speaking for me, I'm okay with that, but I know a lot of people would have wanted one. But then I have lots of katanas from other figures, gacha ones, a lot of accessories that I can take and put in if I really do want to use one. Yeah, besides that, I don't really have any other cons. A little bit harder to stand on her feet if you want to do a single foot pose, but I think out of these three figures, she's by far the best. Gabimaru second, and unfortunately Sagiri, who really like, is definitely the weaker of the three releases, mainly due to her leg area. But yeah, definitely if you're into the series, highly recommend. For another little bit of a size comparison, I do have the recent Goku release here, who is obviously a really big size figure. Let's stand her up straight. So yeah, next to Goku, not a bad size, and you know, definitely fits in with the other Shonen Jump S.H.Figuarts figures. So yeah, that is basically it for this review. I definitely highly recommend checking out the live stream, mainly the first half where we do have a Q&A session. But yeah, definitely drop your comments below what you think about this race and the Jigokuraku line in general, and how do you feel like it compares against the other or more recent figure arts lines, and who do you want next? Personally, I really want Center to go with Yuzuriha here. But yeah, anyway, that is it. I'll check out photos of her at some point or another on Insta, so keep an eye out there. And anyway, as usual, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, cheers!